Good evening, Dude79 here. Just doing a quick mic check. Thank you so much, 7 Dungeons, for that raid, brother. We appreciate your support. Doing a quick mic check to make sure the mic sounds good.
Testing 1, 2. Hi.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We will be live in just a moment. Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I'm the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague and renowned piece of shit, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone, what's going on, dude? I think that's a really good intro.
Yeah.
I think that's strong, man. I think that's strong. It's accurate, and it lets everyone know who you are. The most deviant host. It's like synonymous with deviant, right?
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
I mean, fuck, you wrote it. I'm just reading what you wrote me, bro.
Yeah. I guess it goes hand in hand, as they say.
Hand in hand. What's going on, y'all? Cuddles is in the chat. Crashed House Beats. That was House Beats you were listening to right there. That is such a... He's just got dope music, y'all.
Yeah, what up, JG?
If you haven't already, shame on you. Head over to iTunes, Spotify, wherever, and check out House Beats.
Mm-hmm.
Search him out. You'll find him. People love his music, and he's got some dope-ass beats, dude.
Yes, absolutely. He's doing some great remixes recently. We appreciate that. Apparently, he's working on a list, so people are saying, hey, do this, and he's adding to the list, so that's really exciting as well, too. So it's pretty dope. But welcome, everybody. See a lot of great names out there. Trick, Cuddles, Dungeons. Thank you for Dungeons that raid, of course. And then I think basically we've decided that Brian is our love child, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. I just want to make sure that we got that out so everybody's aware.
Man, I saw that my credit card got charged for your Patreon again. I'm going to need that back, dude. Tony ain't drinking no more beer on my tab.
Actually,
yeah.
This was on you.
This one, Ray, you bought us the official beer of the Banter and Babble podcast.
I can't even get the little guy out. There he is.
It is Pigeon Hill, the oatmeal cream pie.
The OCP.
And Tone, if there's anything I love, dude,
we know.
It's a cream pie.
We know.
It goes down so smooth.
Yeah.
Once it hits your lips, it's so tasty. It's frothy, and
oh, don't gurgle it like that. I got to sit next to you.
No, man, I love it. It's just sloppy, and it's so good, man. I love it. Thank you for that follow, Knights Halo. Yeah, here we are, dude. It's Wednesday night, another episode of Banter and Babble. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. Well, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know if it's all good stuff because it's some shitty movies we saw this past weekend. So we have a lot to talk about. Not all the best stuff. A cream pie on your lips. I feel like there are some logistical issues with that. No, I mean, I love a cream pie on my lips. Yeah, there's no logistical nonsense. That is what I like, my friend.
Refreshing.
Big fan. Tone, what's going on, dude?
Well, we are, as of last weekend, I am within about a week and a half of officially starting to furnish the basement. So if you have not been here for it, or if you have been here for it, the basement situation has turned into a money pit over the last over 2 years now, when this originally started, and we're almost to the point where we can finally furnish it, and it being completed for the second time, because it was completed at the end of September last year. That's when I had 2 weeks later a flood and a drainage issue, and had to start from, well, not fully scratch, but either way,
it was basically FUBAR. Yep, it was.
I'm about to belch in the mic.
No, dude, you sent some photos, and it's looking good, dude. It's looking really good. It's coming together nicely. I know you're excited to get that done, so you can get all your stuff back down there and get yourself situated. And yeah, man, it's a relief. You got the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right,
you're getting closer.
Yes, and kudos to the wife. She is the one that's really taken the bull by the horns on it, we'll say.
Yeah, you're literally doing nothing. Like, she's
I'm
doing
doing stuff, but like we can't
drinking.
do things
Sitting there
together.
drinking and telling her what to do does not qualify.
I
as doing
most certainly was drinking on Saturday while painting. Like, I picked up a 24 pack of MGD and was going to town and killed about half of that night. But we just don't work good together, and so certain people are particular about certain things and perfectionists about certain things. And
I hope she's watching, because I know you'll be staying the night here.
Certainly isn't.
That you know of.
Right.
Tonight's gonna be the one night she's like, you know what? I'm gonna watch him.
No.
I love him so much. I'm gonna watch him tonight. And here you are, being that renowned piece of shit I labeled you as, and you don't disappoint. You're accurate as fuck.
Correct.
Miss Cannon, what's going on, girl?
But at the end of the day, that's the big thing, is that next, not this coming Saturday, the following on the 16th, Cappadocian and me are going to start moving the electronics downstairs, and that'll be the big piece of it. I'm going to try and get the arcade units on that side of it, this coming Monday or so. But we're getting there.
That's exciting. It's exciting.
Finally.
It's good times.
Yes.
You been playing anything? You're still on that Horizon
I am
grind.
this close to being done with Horizon.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's you. This close to being done with Horizon. Forbidden West, been a great, amazing open world RPG, as you can imagine. It's unfortunate that it once again released the second game, like the first game, during a release week or window of another big game. It's been a little undershadowed by Elden Ring, which is weird because Horizon's a big name. Elden Ring is just coming from a massive, amazing developer. So, it is what it is. Kudos to that game and its success, because it's doing well as well, too. But hopefully people will be able to go back at some point and play Forbidden West, because as great as the first game was, they managed to duplicate that on the nth degree for the second. So, almost done. Yeah, good times. Loving it.
Awesome. I'm still making my way through that. I'll actually be live again with that on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be streaming that again.
Good.
We did story time on Monday, got through another part of the story. Going to jump back in on Friday night and get back to it. We're going to try to grind it out a little bit more. I don't have any big plans on Saturday other than taking the kids to go see Sonic 2. Did you know that thing's over almost 2 hours long now?
I'm here for it.
This new one is
I'm
2 hours long. That better be good, dude.
Yeah, Miss Cannon, you don't even know.
Man, Miss Cannon shows up and does her best Brian impersonation. It's getting raunchy here already. I like it. Yeah, it'll be a long Friday night stream, man. We'll have some booze. We'll have some more Horizon. I also got into Weird West on Game Pass. And that's a pretty cool little game, man. You saw the videos for that. I showed you that.
Yeah.
It's like an isometric shooter RPG, if you will.
Like, nice art style.
Real cool art style. It's pretty good, man. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the soundtrack. The story is actually really engaging. It's good, man. It's good, Brian. It's on Game Pass, so I was able to hop into it, and I really enjoyed what I played so far. I know I think it's like $39.99.
I downloaded. I just haven't touched it yet, but it looks dope.
Yeah, it's like $39.99 on other platforms, but I'm really digging when I play it. It's one of those titles where you're like, okay, this is a good Game Pass title. Not that it belongs in Game Pass, but it is good for Game Pass to have a game like that in there.
Real quick, Star says I have two buttholes. Then you can call me Fanboytone Mystique now. Because guess what?
What?
She does too.
Okay. Wow.
Or Tone Mystique, whatever.
That's great. Tone channeled Watto for a second. I seen Prime's in here. He's already championing Morbius, so I can't wait to get his thoughts on that phenomenal movie. But Tone, before we get into all the topics, we've got some stuff that we want to talk about.
We do.
What do you want to lead with, man?
Let's talk about our friend. Let's talk about our good pal and partner with the things that he's doing. He's got coming up here. So we're gonna lead off with, and I'm not gonna remember the amazing tagline, but we'll get that here in a second. I don't even know.
I know you don't.
I'm hyped up on G Fuel. It's not my fault.
I know you are. We'll start off with we're talking about Paul Fett's Toy Depot.
Fett's Toy Depot has teamed up with Lehman's, the Orchard here in Saginaw, the Tri-Cities area, Freeland area.
Yeah, the Green Apple Barn
for a really sweet May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you. They've teamed up together, Fett's and Lehman's, for Cider Sunday Fun Day from a galaxy far, far away. That'll be May 4th.
Yeah.
There's going to be all kinds of great things going on, and you can see some of the food involved here. These donuts, amazing
cupcakes.
Food, little events. There's going to be Star Wars cosplaying going on as well too. It's going to be going on from 12 p.m. to 8:30. So, but starting at 4 p.m. is when the Star Wars characters will be roaming the event for pictures with Fett's and the Toy Depot fans, and we'll have games available as well too. So the big piece of this, though, to come out and enjoy and celebrate Star Wars, bring the kids, of course. It's, real family. Like, listen, Lehman's one of those spots in the Tri-City area that is a destination spot. It's an experience. There's all kinds of things that you can enjoy there. But the big piece here, again, is going to be going to greenapplebarn.com.
Yes.
That's where you're going to want to grab your tickets for being able to visit this event. You'll be able to choose food from the menus. You pick everything that you need, and you'll get there, and everything will be ready for you. So you can purchase those tickets online. Again, that's greenapplebarn.com. So if you're local in the area, maybe you don't got kids, maybe you want to go, maybe you want to, take your nephew or something, or your niece, or whoever it might be. Or if you know somebody that's got family and kids and want to celebrate Star Wars properly on May the 4th, there you go. This is something you can do. And that's going on again till about 8:30 p.m. So events and things will start at 12, but the stuff will really start kicking off around 4 o'clock when Fett's shows up and gets those games going as well, too. So really excited for him that he's been able to partner up with these folks, and he partners with us. Really, really awesome here. Again, as always, he's doing big stuff here for the families in the community of the Tri-Cities. So kudos.
Always a good time, man. And like I said, the kids love going to Lehman's. It's an awesome place. Like you said, a lot of good food, all that jazz and stuff. And for Paul to collab with these folks, I mean, these are two really fine companies or businesses in the local area. And always a good time with the kids. And again, this is going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of chow. It's going to be a fun Star Wars event. Obviously, May 4th is a pretty big day. We're expecting a lot of big news out of the Star Wars
Hopefully some big
camp.
announcements. We'll see the last. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but with Obi-Wan on the horizon as well too, and different stuff going on in the Disney Plus app now at this point, I'm anticipating some hopefully some fun announcements. So keep fingers crossed for that.
Get the kids out there, and like I said, the link is right there in the chat. Head over to that site to purchase your tickets. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And Tone, I know if we didn't have plans that night,
right,
we would be attending that.
We would probably.
That is a
our
Wednesday
there,
night,
yes.
But it's not just going to be a typical show. We have something else planned for May 4th.
So this is our big announcement, and we're glad everybody is here and able to make it. As you know, we've been saying that 2022 is going to be a year we really wanted to work with local people, partner up, do some things, whatever that might be. We want to go big, and just really kind of expand on the things that we're doing. So with that, personally, and I'm having a hard time already containing my excitement, we will be on May the 4th, more than likely 8 p.m. We'll solidify that time.
It sounds like 8 p.m.
Yes.
It sounds like 8 p.m.
8 p.m. May the 4th, we are going to be streaming live from none other than Coy's Comics here in Saginaw, Michigan. Again, I got to tell you, everybody, I am so stoked to be able to do this and very thankful that they're going to allow us to do this. Steve and Brandy are amazing. They are certainly a well-known spot and pillar of this community as well, too. They have done nothing but continue to grow, expand, and get bigger with their business. They're constantly expanding. As soon as I got this new job, about a year ago, one of the first things they did on a Saturday was walk my ass into Koi's Comics and hit up Free Comic Book Day.
That's right. It's right down the road from
Yeah,
you.
yes, and actually be able to start a pull list and buy comics again and hang out. And it was one of my first destinations I wanted to get to locally. So it's an exciting day, of course, May 4th. So there'll probably be some Star Wars announcements. We'll have Steve and Brandy on. We'll talk about different things going on with them because we will be helping them promote over the next few weeks here on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube if you're local.
This is a good
Free
one.
Comic Book Day, don't forget, is May 7th. Free Comic Book Day from what it used to be to now is big, really big.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have artists out there. They're going to have food trucks. They're going to have bands. All kinds of great stuff going on May 7th. And some of that stuff will kick off later in the afternoon, but they'll be opening their doors usually around 10 or 11 in the morning as well, too. So if you're in the area, please make it out there, Free Comic Book Day. We might be around on and off, kind of hanging out. I'll definitely be around for a part of the day on and off. We're going to try and get out there and maybe just do a little bit of foot traffic and, maybe get some content recorded. I don't think we'll have time to be able to do live that day because it's going to be packed and busy.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that the folks like the artists and stuff as well too, they're getting the big attention and stuff like that. So get out there, support Free Comic Book Day, support your local comic book store. Koi's Comics, again, a pillar around here for us. And so, again, for knowing Steve as long as I've been able to and just being able to have this opportunity to promote this and be involved with them, I can't tell you, I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm really excited. So thank you so much to them for allowing us to do this. So I'm really excited to just be there May 4th to help promote. And then, of course, on Free Comic Day on the 7th. But what's even more fun as well, too.
This is awesome. This is really exciting.
On the 5th, the night after the 4th, as we know, Doctor Strange 2 drops, the Multiverse of Madness. We actually solidified our tickets through them. They have an entire theater in Birch Run with basically reclining seats and everything. And while everybody in the world was struggling to get their tickets for the Doctor Strange 2, we had ours already bought on ready to go on Sunday and didn't break a sweat. So really thankful for that opportunity as well, too. So a really exciting week just generally for nerds, I think.
Yeah,
but for Banter and Babble, this is a big one. We're really excited to work with Koi's. So thank you so much, and we cannot wait.
It's going to be pretty exciting. Like I said, anytime we can get out to these local businesses and set up shop and do a show from there, promote their stuff, promote their events coming up, and still talk about all the fun stuff that we talk about and have the conversations that we have. And again, just put the spotlight on other local businesses so they get, the recognition they deserve because they do have a great store and it's expanding. Like it's going to be what you know now of Koi's Comics is going to be a little bit different when Comic Book Day arrives. It's going to be a little bit bigger, more space. So it's going to be quite an event there. Like he said, there's going to be fun. The food trucks there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know who's going to be there, but Saginaw's got some pretty good food trucks around here. So you'll have music, you'll have food, you're going to get comics, there's going to be, artists and whatnot there. It's going to be an event. It's right on Bay Road, and it's to be a part of that, again, to be able to work with these local businesses, and they entrust us to promote them and make sure people are aware of what they're up to the best that we can. I mean, we're a small show, but, we love our local businesses, and there's a lot of people out here working hard, and they put together a great business, and we want to be a part of that and help them get that as much recognition as possible. So we're really, really, humbled to be able to be a part of something like this.
Yeah, very excited, as you can tell. So that's our big announcement.
Yeah, we're
See
really
you guys.
excited
Have a good
about
night.
it. Yeah, bye. See you later. We're out of here.
Just kidding.
So, all right, Tone. Before we get started,
yes,
we're doing a giveaway. We did a giveaway earlier today in the Discord.
We did, and congratulations, Cherry out there. She did win
Cherry
in the
Squishy.
Discord giveaway.
Got that dub. So we're gonna do another digital code giveaway. On either PSN, Xbox, Steam, or eShop, whatever platform of your choice. And the only thing we ask is you have to be here to claim it if you win.
No chilies?
No chilies. No chilies. Sorry, man. Not happening, bro.
Chipotle Crispers.
Oh, excuse me. I just burped. All right. So all you have to do is !enter to enter the contest. It is beginning now.
Oh.
And there you go.
Well, Trick, Prime, or somebody won. Cool. Congratulations. Jay Hill, maybe.
Right. It's always the same people. I tell you, they're
Cuddles, you can get in there. Cuddles, you should try to get in there. Go ahead, Cuddles.
Yeah,
Cuddles,
get in there, y'all.
Cuddles.
$20 gift card, digital gift card on the platform of your choice. The winner will be announced in an hour. All right. As everyone gets settled in, entering in, and getting their drinks ready, Tone, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And first up, man,
Prime
Didax, topic of the night. Let's talk about
topic of the night.
fucking Morbius.
Oh, that's the new tagline.
That's the new tagline. You know, the
Fitting.
movie that Martin Scorsese has praised is the truest form, the highest form of cinema. And it has a 205% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Morbius has taken on the world, and it is it's breaking records.
Yeah.
According to all the
Not
memes
the right ones.
and everyone having fun with it on social media. All right, so we went and saw Morbius. I had low expectations. Everyone, I think, had low expectations. It is the number one movie in America, but that's, you know, so was Battlefield Earth at one point. So anyways, Tone, I'm going to start this one off, dude.
Yeah, you take it.
I'm going to start this off because there's some stuff I know you're going to want to address that I think is worth discussing, just the shitty nature of how Sony has handled their properties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing I'm going to mention about this movie is I'm going to agreement with Prime Didact. There was a moment where he was walking out to go get something to drink or something, and he was like, "This ain't too bad," and that was probably in the first 20 minutes. And I have to agree.
Yeah,
I have to agree. In the first 20 minutes, I was like, "This isn't too fucking bad."
Yeah,
you know, I mean, seriously, the relationship between Michael and his friend Milo. It was genuine, the struggle that they were dealing with together, you know, and you could see that relationship, and they cared for one another. And Michael was like, you know, I'm going to take care of us. I'm going to find a cure for this this ailment that we have. And I was like, oh man, this sounds pretty good. I was like, man, this is actually pretty good. I like Jared Leto. He's a good actor, and so far it's good. Until we get to the point where Michael goes out to conduct an illegal experiment out on a freighter out in the middle of the ocean on international waters.
Wow.
And from that point on, dude, this movie goes completely off the rails and explodes and burns.
Did you at least like some of the boat stuff going on, or was it after the boat stuff?
It was after the boat stuff.
Okay, good, because I want to clarify that. Because I thought the boat, because I was still in on it with the boat stuff.
Everything that was happening on the boat, I was like, cool, man, okay, he's a vampire, and he's fucking people up. That's cool.
Edgy.
But then as soon as that scene, as all that ends, as soon as you get to acts 2 and 3, you can see where this movie got chopped the fuck up and reshoots and everything over the last 2 years of being delayed and whatnot. This movie is all snarls and no substance. That's all we get. Snarling. And all those faces. And no substance.
A lot of faces. A lot of facey faces.
Dude, this movie
bad CGI faces.
Sucks. And dude, and it was so disappointing. Because it started up because I was like, man, first 20 minutes, I'm like, holy shit, Sony's going to do it. They're kicking out a movie that isn't trash. The critics are fucking full of shit. I don't care if that Rotten score is at 10%. This movie's pretty good. Dude, I just don't understand what the fuck happened in this movie. But it just completely fell apart. There are so many questionable decisions made by characters. Why is Tyrese Gibson in this movie? Why is Tyrese in this movie?
That wasn't Lou Gossett Jr.?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Dude, he is the absolute most pointless role in this movie. You could have gotten anybody to play this role.
Right.
Complete wasted character. Jared Harris, a guy that you and I are big fans of. Awesome in Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
He plays like
really
this.
Good.
He plays like this professor, father figure to Miles or to Milo and Michael Morbius. Wasted. Doesn't get any good scenes. Absolutely terribly wasted. And the girl's name is Martina. Her relationship with Michael. I'm supposed to believe that they were a thing. They haven't. It's the character development and everything after that shit. That movie is poorly edited. The story is all over the place and nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
The shitty CGI. And in typical fashion of a Sony movie, like Venom before it, the last act, the last 20 minutes, CGI blur. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, literally the CGI blur. Falling for fucking apparently 80 stories.
Volume through the roof, loud, shitty slow motion that shows off how bad the CGI is, and just again nonsensical, just stupid fucking action.
Mm-hmm.
And that solidified it, man. It was just like, dude, this is a really bad movie. Now, is it as bad as Let There Be Carnage? Maybe, maybe not.
It's
But it's not as bad as Venom. Or I'm sorry, Venom is better than this.
Yes.
This and then Let There Be Carnage. This is pretty close to
You saw my scale.
Yeah, I did.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, and you should actually grab that really fast.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you might not be able to. It's in the signal, I think. But no, I literally, like, I still can't fathom how the first act, then you get to the third act, and like you said, it's just a CG blur. Like, who literally sat there and thought, you know what? We're gonna sell tickets.
Terps asks, is it as bad as Fantastic Four?
Oh, I mean, I think it's like, at that point, it's like reaching into the bucket of turds, and you're just grabbing a big turd or a little turd. They're all turds at the end of the day, right? That's all that matters, you know? And I think that's kind of what happened with, like, listen, Venom was, for all intents and purposes, okay. It was okay. It's not a good movie. It's not a great movie. If you think it is, you're lying to yourself. Carnage and Venom was a complete joke. I mean, it's just a complete joke of just even their, like, background and their storytelling. This movie really attempted. I feel like at one point this was a movie that really wanted to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame Jared Leto. I actually like Jared Leto. He just might not be good at picking movies at this point.
Kind of a creep, too. I don't know if you've been seeing the stories about him, like, DMing all these women, these girls, like, underage stuff.
Oh, God.
He kind of creepy, man. He's kind of got that creep shit going on.
See, they're asking for the scale. Look, how many Mortal Kombats is it? See? They're asking for the scale. I'll tell you the scale in a second, Forge Hammer, and I think I sent you the scale that night too. But this movie is a hot fucking mess. Like, it gets into the fact where we look at let's just stop, right? I know that not everybody's got Disney money. I know that not everybody's the MCU, but they took 10 fucking years to build what they wanted to do. At the end of the day, Ryan Airy said it best. Sony is just doing what the DCU did, which is put money before character and story development.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care about. You need to take time to build these things. It can't be flat. They want that Sinister Six movie money so bad. They want to build some form of team and have everybody going, yeah, it's not going to fucking happen when you keep putting out shit sandwiches like this.
No one's going to care,
sorry.
Dude. No one's going to care.
No one's going to fucking care. There was even somebody who bought out an entire theater to themselves and watched it by themselves as like a bit. I don't know if it was real because right now the internet's having a fun and it's enjoyable. I appreciate that people are doing it, but you know, at the end of the day, it's what I keep saying for a long time, and I'm going to continue to say it since the pandemic, especially. Everybody is just perfectly fine with intaking whatever it is and going to enjoy it if it's got flash sounds and a half-baked character that's based off something, and we're not going to be critical over it. There needs to be standards. I'm sorry. There needs to be some form of standard.
I will say we're being critical of it because if I remember correctly, both the critical score on Rotten Tomatoes and the audience score were pretty bad. Like, I think we're being very critical of it. So I think people were going to see the movie. But even then, dude, it made $40 million, which sounds like a lot, but compared to its budget, this thing is going to bomb.
Well, yeah. I mean, look how surprised they were with what Uncharted did. It did, what, 40, 50 million, and they expected to do like 30?
Yeah. They expected this to do a lot more than 40, though.
Right, and I don't want to slip into the whole, like, because I could talk a long time about franchises and things based off stuff. I mean, we're going to talk about Halo later, and it's the same thing, I feel like.
Yes.
Is that they're taking these properties, and they care so much about the wrong things that they're just ruining the product as a whole. It's not just like Halo show isn't good or Morbius isn't bad. It's going to trash everything that you're doing that's surrounded around it.
Right.
And that's what's happening here. They care more about having their version of an MCU than they do about building good stories and good characters. And it's quite evident because, you know, after this has come out and they want to do things like with the Vulture and they want to build the Sinister Six, they move stuff around, they chop this movie up. Did somebody see this? Did somebody at Disney look at this and go, you know what? You guys got to change some stuff. We don't want this. We don't want this to be compared to the MCU.
Right.
I mean, look at the way the character over the span of this movie would start getting different powers and all of a sudden start realizing powers. Like, in the right storytelling, that makes sense. But this was just like stupid campy, like.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like just.
And I'm sorry, man. I know. I think you said Matt Smith is on Doctor Who.
Matt Smith is actually a popular actor, and
he's
it's a
awful
shame.
in this movie.
He's awful in
He's
this movie.
awful in this
He's
movie.
campy as shit. Listen,
Again,
I
it's
could
a
only
shitty material that he's forced to scream and yell, and I was like, this guy,
it's the
terrible.
DCU shit when you got basically Jason Momoa flexing as the Aquaman at like the screen and fourth wall. That's basically what they were doing in this.
Yeah.
There's a point in this movie where Matt Smith's getting ready to go out. He's getting himself all psyched up, and like the CG faces are coming on, and they're going, yeah, like, dude, come on, we don't do that shit. Get out of here.
I'm sure he's a good actor, but this was a really bad role for him. Like, it was just, and again, it's more. He's doing the best he can. He probably read that script and was like, oh, fuck, dude, I got to do this? Really? This is what I'm doing? This is my character? And he tried his best, but the way it was shot, the way it was directed, and the situations itself were so fucking bad, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Crash said I could have sworn in one scene they used music from Batman Begins. They probably did. They probably did. No. At the end of the day, this is an absolute terrible movie. I can't really say, like, right now. I feel like I would still watch Venom versus Carnage over this just because it's at least symbiotes.
Gross.
It is gross, but everybody wants to know on the Mortal Kombat. So here's how the Mortal Kombat scale works. Mortal Kombat scale is 0 to 10.
Sure.
Absolute 0, so 0 to 10. Absolute 0, that's where Mortal Kombat, the latest one on HBO, comes out. It's a never watch again. It's please, it's trash. Pretend it didn't happen.
He bought it.
This movie falls in about the 3 because you move the scale forward on the potential of maybe you either rewatching it or what you got out of it. This is a third 3 spots above Mortal Kombat at absolute 0, and Carnage and Venom's kind of near that area as well too. Venom's probably more like a 4, So to 10 is where I might consider rewatching it, but that's how many degrees forward from Mortal Kombat. So it's not Mortal Kombat level, but it's 3 steps away from it. So yeah, this is, they should be ashamed of themselves. And honestly, anybody that saw that should ask for their money back. The end credit shit.
Let's talk about the end credits.
The end credit shit makes absolutely no sense.
None.
Because in the MCU, when they're blipping in villains from Spider-Man, all of a sudden there's one in this one that gets blipped out of the MCU.
Right. Yeah, because the spell that he casts pulls people in.
No one says
MCU.
that, Daniel.
Pulled in Venom, pulled in Eddie
all
Brock,
these characters,
pulled all these people in. And then that's what the spell does. Pull people in. And then the spell at the end of Spider-Man pushes everybody out.
Back into their area.
But for whatever fucking reason, Michael Keaton's character gets blipped out into this universe and makes 0 fucking sense. And to make matters worse, dude, we're sitting there watching the movie. We're watching this movie, and we're in the final act, and I'm looking over at Crash. I'm like, where the fuck is Michael Keaton at? He's in the trailer. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, there's no way Michael Keaton is the fucking end credit scene, and they ran that shit in the trailer.
Yeah.
And sure enough, not 1, but 2 end credit scenes.
Reshots,
clearly, there's Michael Keaton.
And not only that, but like it's so terrible with the continuity that when they meet up the second time and he's wearing his vulture suit, I'm sorry if we ruined this for you guys. I'm sorry.
No, we're doing you a favor.
Don't spend money on this. Don't put your eyeballs on
this.
It. Right. Yeah. Get food poisoning. It's much more fun. When he shows up in the vulture outfit, in this universe that he's at with Morbius, the Chitauri didn't attack New York. That's how he built that suit, was from the Chitauri attack. It was alien tech.
Right.
He doesn't have his crew with him either.
Yeah, how did he make that?
Great fucking question. That's a pretty big fucking plot hole. A pretty big fucking... Listen, if they would have showed him, like, tinkering with something, like, in a salvage yard...
And made something similar?
Instead of them meeting up, maybe we should team up. Could you get more fucking campy than that?
Oh, dude, it was so bad.
Oh, my God.
Michael Keaton deserves better.
So somebody asked if Fantastic Four bad. Yeah, it's definitely on that level. I think Fantastic Four at least was trying to do something. Morbius, they don't.
I wouldn't call it spoilers. I would call it saviors. We're saving you from seeing this movie.
We are saving you.
I like what Terp said. I like how he didn't care at all that he's in a different universe than his family.
And then and then he random says out of nowhere, as if he's gonna fucking somehow figure out 2 and 2 together. I don't know, but I think Spider-Man's involved. What, did you read a fucking newspaper? How would you think that? What would tell you that you blipped into another universe?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus,
it was like
fucking
it was the
Christ.
cherry on the top. Like, if there was ever a way to fuck up an end credit scene, this was it. Sony has found a way to ruin the excitement of the mid credit end credit scenes. Like, seriously, man, they were that bad. They were horrible, and like Prime said, they were just terribly shot, terribly acted. It felt rushed as fuck.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, what needs to happen is Sony needs to keep the video game rights, keep the animation rights.
Yep.
Marvel needs to say, how much zeros you want at the end of this check so we can get back the movie rights to Spider-Man.
Give us live action stuff.
Please, because it's a fucking joke. I mean, you look at the third movie of both Spider-Mans, or the second, whatever it is, they didn't do a third for Andrew Garfield. The second one, they did the same shit. They mashed in too many villains.
Yep.
They did the same thing with the Tobey Maguire one. They had to throw in 3 villains. They mashed it up so it ruins any good storytelling they could possibly do. How in the fuck have we at this point not learned our lesson, Sony? How have we not fucking learned our lesson? You see the DCU clearly sinking all the fucking time. You're doing the same shit every cycle.
I just really think
knock it off.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing with it, man.
Let everybody come in. Let Kevin Feige and everybody come in. Let them have nearly full control. Let them pick the fucking directors. Let them write, produce, and everything. But just keep it under. Like Sony says, we'll loan you all this stuff. You just make something for us so we can make some money.
Right.
Whatever works. I don't fucking care. Figure it out because this shit's got to stop. I'll tell you what right now. Any more from the Sony shit universe, I'm not going to pay money in the theater to see. Absolutely not. Not after this. Absolutely not. I'm good.
What about Kraven?
Nope.
Oh, come on. Really?
Absolutely not.
Who could they cast in Kraven that would get you to go?
Well, they've casted a guy that's been in the MCU already and other hero stuff, but I just don't care at this point.
Wow.
I want to care because it's Kraven. But no, come on. We're not doing that.
No,
I don't think consciously at this point. If we're gonna sit here and complain about it and we're feeding the wheel at the same time, we're fucking hypocrites. I can't do it.
No.
At some point, there has to be a standard.
It's a valid point. It's a valid point. There's some good comments in the chat right now. Crash says, "Why would Vulture look up Morbius? Why would Morbius care about Spider-Man if Spider-Man isn't in this universe?"
Well, he is, and that's what the director said, that Spider-Man is in this universe. He even says, "I think Spider-Man's got something to do with it." But we couldn't tell. Did you see Spider-Man sprinkled into this before?
You remember the shot in the trailer where Morbius
Well, yeah, you
was
saw
walking?
the poster. Yeah,
that wasn't in the movie.
That wasn't in the, weird, huh? Yeah, weird.
Dude. This was just you can tell this movie had got chopped the fuck up, and just.
I hope they all fucking bomb. I hope Kraven comes out bomb. Whatever
really
villains
bad,
they want to bring out, I hope it all fucking bombs.
It was really bad.
Terrible.
And it's unfortunate because, like I said early on, it had potential. And Jared Leto, I think he's a good actor despite being kind of creepy. Yeah, man, this movie just tanked. It was really bad.
Yep.
So I would just avoid the shit out of this movie.
Nice try, Jay.
And thank us that you didn't pay to see it and didn't waste 2 hours of your time, because this fucker was 2 hours, wasn't it? I want to say it was like 2 hours and like 6 minutes or some shit. Going to see Morbius tonight. Yeah, Lil Nas, go see it, buddy.
Yeah.
Morbius, sweet.
And then I would ask for your money back when you walk out.
Yeah, get that money back for sure. Yeah, just a total shit show. Speaking of shit shows, Tom, let's get to our next topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about The Bubble, airing now on Netflix. And dude, when we saw trailer for this and seen the cast of people that were involved
And the director.
this has Pedro Pascal, Karen Gillian, David Duchovny, Leslie Mann. I mean, just a funny cast. These are funny fucking people. These are people with the right material are really fucking funny. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Judd Apatow, who is really fucking funny.
What is he renowned for?
Oh, dude, everything. 40-Year-Old Virgin, Role Models. I mean, he's made some of the great comedies of this generation.
Yeah, over the last couple decades.
And so we saw the trailer for this, and I'm thinking, oh my god, dude, I'm getting Tropic Thunder vibes. Like, oh, it's making fun of the movie industry and how they're dealing with COVID and being on lockdown. I'm like, man, there's so much potential here. This could be really, really funny. I didn't even finish this movie, dude. I got an hour.
Lied to me?
Yeah, I did. I got an hour and 10 minutes in.
You lied to me?
And I shut that bitch off. And I said, no, I'm going to go get some sleep.
And then had to message me about it.
I did. I was upset. I was upset with this movie.
Like me watching *Malignant*?
I cannot. Dude, this ain't even on the same level, dude. Ain't even on the same level. This movie is so devoid of humor. It's shocking. It's shocking.
Very shocking, actually.
Look, it doesn't go without a couple of giggles. There's just too much talent involved for this movie not to generate a couple like little laughs. But dude, whenever you're in a comedy like this and you're cutting to different scenes, typically you end every scene with some kind of like, little nudge, a little laugh.
Something, yeah.
And
wink,
these characters are spitting out lines and nothing is landing. No jokes are landing, and all these scenes end awkwardly, and you're just like, how bad can this writing fucking be? I know that, dude, yes, Brian, this is a comedy, and it is not funny. It's not funny. I mean, and considering all the people involved and the director, I could not believe I was expecting this to be a Tropic Thunder type of movie. Mm-hmm. Self-aware, making fun of the industry, and they do, but it's not funny. Like, they're just, every gag lands with a dud. Mm. And I couldn't finish it, dude. We got to a part where Leslie Mann gets her hand blown off trying to escape the hotel, and I was just like, okay, I'm done here, dude. It's fucking terrible. I laughed maybe 3 times total, and they weren't belly laughs like what you would expect from these types of movies.
Yeah, no, they weren't. You're right.
But
You're
you
right.
finished it, and
I did.
And the one thing I will say, and I'm sure you'll mention it, is there are a lot of fucking cameos in this movie.
It is unreal. The cast, whether it's cameo, whether it's just, what's his Armstrong? I can't think of his name. Whatever.
I don't know.
From Portlandia. But I mean, again, yeah, there's a ton of cast members in here. There's some great cameos. None of that fucking matters. If you could have this huge, as you see here, cast of people, but if there's no fucking heart, soul, no fun in it, it's a waste of fucking time. Like, I can't believe after 2 hours of that, I was basically kind of like staring blankly and blinking and going, what was the fucking point? Like, just like, I know what they were trying to do, the satire in it, but it, like you said, it did not land at all. So bad, it was like, for some of you guys and gals out there that played Top Gun on NES, you were crashing before they, the landing on the actual aircraft carrier. Mm-hmm. It was that bad. It was just, boop. Like, you'd get a joke out and be like, wait, was that a joke? Was that supposed to be funny? Well, that wasn't funny, right? The only saving grace in it, and I got to shed a little bit of light on this, because this makes me excited, by the way, for a certain movie coming out. Yep. I don't know if you've been seeing the ratings on that so far.
Oh, it's 100%.
Just want to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal really tried.
He tries really hard.
He tried so hard in this movie. And listen, he got me to chuckle a couple times. There's a part with the TV and a cameo. That was actually
with the Peloton bike or whatever.
No, the Pilates or whatever the fuck was going on. Yeah. There was a bit there I was like, okay, that's really fucking funny. Yeah. And he was consistent throughout it. Like, his bits were consistent, and he was funny and it was believable. But when you're not, like, for all these people, like even Karen Gillan, like is Gillian, whatever.
Gillian.
She's normally funny in those roles, like Jumanji. She's entertaining and things like that. Or David fucking Duchovny, like,
dude, not known for like comedy, but he can play that dry humor. Like,
right,
he's really
that's what I'm saying. Like, none of that fit. Key.
Oh yeah, Michael Key. Yeah, wasted.
He was completely wasted. Like, in this, like, it's just I can't believe that we're staring at these people here and we're not going, man, this was funny. Everybody needs to watch it if you haven't seen it. I can't believe how big of a disappointment it is. And you know what? Like, it's to the point now where we got to start really kind of saying, I think we talked about it in the last couple of shows, Netflix keeps putting out these movies, and you're literally it's like half and half. Like, is it going to be
really good?
Is it going to be great? Is it going to be shit? Like, their series they come out with.
This was bad.
Yeah, are pretty all right. But like a lot of these movies that keep coming out, it's like you gotta come more correct. I mean, they're raising the fucking price of the fucking app again, after, like 4 months after they just raised the fucking price of it for this.
Yeah, dude, and you mentioned, you say Pedro Pascal is trying really hard. These people, everyone involved, shouldn't have to try hard with comedy. This should be a layup for most of these folks.
Right.
But when you start trying hard is when the writing is so bad.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to make lemonade out of lemons. They're trying to make lemonade out, and it's just, dude, it's so
impossible.
Bad. It's impossible. Because like I said, every time a scene ends, one of these characters is jawing something out, and you're like, okay, here comes the gut punch, here comes something funny, some punchline, and it's nothing. And you're just like, wow, what the fuck is going on with this?
Even some of the physical bits just were not funny.
No.
Like, it's I can't. I'm flabbergasted. Like, listen, is it the worst movie I've ever seen? Probably not. Is it something I'm going to watch again? No, I'm definitely not going to watch this again. Am I going to tell you not to watch it? Yeah, don't watch this shit.
Don't watch it. It's really bad.
It's really fucking bad. Like, I can't even believe, like, listen, and I'm going to kind of bring this back to Don't Look Up really randomly. I didn't enjoy that movie like a lot of people did. I still don't see what everybody sees in that movie.
Best Picture nominee?
That's ridiculous.
Ooh, okay.
That continues to fuel my conversation about the intake of media right now, but I digress. I can't believe that these movies keep coming out and people are giving them the fucking time of day.
Trying her to studios. So you're saying watch it?
Well, for you, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You'll
waste
love it.
your 2 hours.
Yes, go watch it. It'll blow your mind how clever it is.
Yeah,
This is seriously one of the more disappointing comedies I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
it's really that bad.
Yeah, and I think going forward this year, this is probably going to be one of the most disappointing movies this year.
Oh, it would be really. It would take something like Doctor Strange to like miss the mark big time for me to be more disappointed in this movie, considering the talent involved. This is a total pass, man. Pass on this shit. It is really fucking lame.
Yeah.
Really lame. All right, Tone. We've got some trailers. We've got some trailers to talk about.
Some trailers to talk about.
These are kind of more low-key trailers and not like the typical blockbuster movies. Not Top Gun. It's not Doctor Strange. Not Thor. We don't know. When the fuck are we going to get that trailer? Before Doctor Strange?
They've been doing a lot of fucking media shit this week, and we still haven't seen that. There might be a chance. We're still about 4 weeks out from that. Are they going to put something out before that? I don't know. Or are they going to leave it for that movie?
I think dude, at this point, dude, I'm guessing that there's something that happens in Doctor Strange it's going to be too big to cover up.
Well, remember they did this with Spider-Man too. They were holding close to the chest for a while as well too. Yeah. So maybe that's part of it. What it is, maybe all these movies are going to continue to domino effect into each other. And unlike Phase 1, which did a lot of that as well too, or the other phase, whatever. The original set for the Avengers there, maybe these are going to thread a little bit more and more differently, so they got to be careful of that.
Yeah, got to be careful.
I guess we'll see. We'll know.
But we do have a couple trailers we want to talk about. Let's talk about the first one, Tone. We're going to run it. This is for Outer Range, which premieres next week on Prime Video. Let's check it out.
This land, this family, it's always been kind of like a dream to me. I don't know, part of me, I guess. Figured one day I'd wake up.
I'm looking for the Abbott Ranch.
Yeah, we're not a tourist ranch.
Come on, I was looking at camp. Only be a few days. Autumn.
Royal.
Glad to finally meet you.
Why are you here?
You see that? I've been drawing it for years, and now I see it all over the place here.
You stay away from her, you understand? And that goes for everyone.
I want that land.
Why?
There's something out there.
What is this, Royal?
I don't know what it is.
This will just be our little secret.
I want you west pasture because I want you west pasture.
My west.
You tell me.
Something's happening here. Something bigger than you and me. And the world's been waiting for something like this.
There'll be no strings to bind your hand.
You ever wonder if the world's not what you think it is? No law, no order, just chaos all the way down.
Hello.
Something is coming. Something is happening.
Just call me angel of the morning, angel.
Please, can you quit it?
Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just touch my cheek before you leave me.
Okay.
Interest is certainly peaked.
All we have so far is that this is a rancher who is fighting for his land and family discovers an unfathomable mystery at the edge of Wyoming's wilderness.
He reaches into your butthole.
That's a big butthole. That's probably
That's why
yours.
it's your butthole.
Oh, I came with it first. I hit it first.
No.
Oh, I did not hit it first. I hit the joke. Okay. Oh, jeez. All right. Anyways, anytime that you have a show that mixes anything with kind of like that open range, that Western type of feel with supernatural elements, I'm cool with that, dude. I'm cool with this. And plus, number 2, man crush, Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah,
Josh Brolin's amazing. That is my man crush. I've always thought he's just been an amazing actor. Obviously, we know him as Thanos. I know him as Brad from Goonies.
I was gonna say the same thing too.
Yeah, that's Brad from Goonies.
Brad from
but
Goonies.
dude, he's amazing in Sicario. I mean, he's just Josh Brolin is in No Country for Old Men. Amazing. I mean, this guy's got a lot of talent.
You love Jonah Hex?
I love Jonah Hex. That is an underrated film. But no, great cast. Josh Brolin, Lily Taylor, Will Patton, Imogen Poots, Tom Pelphrey, and Tamara Podemski. This drops next week on Amazon Prime. 8 episodes. I'm intrigued, dude. I want to check this movie. I think this looks really good. Or this show.
I think this is definitely in both our wheelhouse, for sure. I do like that there's really only a few big names in it. One course big one and one kind of semi-big one. Honestly, I feel like over time, Amazon Prime is slowly starting to.
They're not like Netflix. They're doing
Netflix is doing the opposite, at least with the movies.
With
right?
the movies,
but,
anyways.
The Prime is still trying to find their footing with this, and they're starting to do a really good job with it. So, and it's a good platform for some of this crazier shit as well too. So.
Yeah, no, like you said, great cast. I love a supernatural premise. And it looks kind of creepy. There's some creepy scenes in this trailer. I'm really curious about this. This will be a show that we'll cover on Banter Babble. We'll watch it, talk about it, and see where it goes. Now, my understanding is, because I asked you this before the show, Prime is not a show, a service that drops all their shows.
I think
once.
originally they used to do that. I think now they do episode by episode. If we look at Invincible and things of that nature as well too, and The Boys,
right?
At the end of the day, there's just something to be said about somebody just reaching into a big hole that I just can't get enough of.
I like what Prime says. Lord of the Rings will hopefully solidify their efforts. Lord of the Rings is a big one for them.
They've got to be careful because if you fuck that up,
you can all the progress you made so far, you fuck up Lord of the Rings, you lose a lot of ground there.
I'll say this about Bezos, when it comes to the stuff, he saved the sci-fi show. I can't think of the name offhand. I can't think of the name of it, but because he's a big fan of it and brought it to Prime and was able to give that more life and let it at least complete itself. Wish I could think of the name of it. It's a really good sci-fi
so good
series.
You can't remember it.
It's probably from the beer and the G Fuel, but The Expanse. Thank you. Yes, The Expanse.
Brian's always on that shit.
Yeah,
he's knowledgeable as fuck.
That's why he's our fucking love child.
He gets naughty sometimes, but he's
right.
smart as fuck.
That's right. But he I think it's weird. I think he has like a decision-making hand in it because of certain things, and I think Lord of the Rings, I got a feeling because he's kind of a nerd as well too. I'm gonna guess that he also realizes like, don't fuck this up.
Yeah,
like, we got Lord of the Rings,
there's no budget restraints on this one. He's just like, here's the wallet and here's the check.
Yeah.
Do what you need.
It's not even. It's like he literally just does the McScrooge in the money pit.
I seen Josh says he's seen the first 2 seasons of The Expanse. Pretty good.
Season 3, I felt like got a little slow because it does what Battlestar Galactica did, which is grounded people onto like a planet instead of being more in space, and I felt that took you out of it. But overall, Expanse is actually one of those newer sci-fi IPs that, to me, it could over time grow to be like something like a Battlestar Galactica and get in kind of that upper echelon of sci-fi. It's definitely worth a watch.
Okay, all right, awesome. So the Outer Range drops next Friday, April 15th. And we'll be all over that. We'll be watching that for sure. All right, Tom. Now, this next trailer, there's a couple trailers that are out there. I just grabbed the teaser because it's less than 5 minutes, unlike the other trailers. But this is something that you piqued your interest right away because fucking dinosaurs.
Because it's fucking dinosaurs.
Let's check out this teaser for Prehistoric Planet, which drops on May 23rd.
Join us for a story you've never heard, on a scale you've never witnessed. This is Prehistoric Planet, only on Apple TV+.
David fucking Attenborough.
David Attenborough will be narrating a 5-night series. Prehistoric Planet on Apple TV Plus beginning May 23rd.
Yep.
Why that sound like Winnie the Pooh? It's not David Attenborough, it's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. That wouldn't be terrible, actually.
I'd like to hear Eeyore pop in. And,
Oh, bother. Here comes the T-Rex. Yeah.
Wow,
Dinos,
yeah,
heck
I'm
yes.
in. Don't have Apple TV, but we'll find it somewhere. You can usually find Apple TV, like, actually, I think, Jay Hill, you have a PS5. I think they have, like, a thing on the App Store on the PS5 where you can get, like, your first month free or some shit like that where you can try it out or get a trial session through PlayStation. This looks dope, though, man. I mean, dinosaurs, 5-night event.
Man, listen, like I was saying, the technology is there at this point. Like, you can go back and watch the Jurassic Parks or you can watch the current ones. They still look good or whatever, but this looks like a little bit next level. Like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with, like, the Planet Earth series, things of that nature. Like, I love that shit. I love David Attenborough. As soon as I saw this and I heard him talk, I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I saw Apple Plus TV exclusive. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
And see, I think they can put the money into this, I think that's why the CGI and everything looks so much better, because when you're doing something like Jurassic Park, there's a big budget. You have more stuff going, explosions, all this shit. Now, this is just going to be more like, I feel like this is going to be like a Discovery Channel of, like, dinosaurs, where the focus is just on the dinosaurs itself, not so much everything going on around them. So you can really put that money towards the actual look and sound and whatnot of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, really, really excited about this just generally. So, sounds like 5 episodes. I hope they're big because, like, one thing that's great about, like, you know, watching, like, Blue Planet or something is putting it in and choosing what ecosystem you want to watch and just lay back for 4 hours, get tanked on your favorite booze or your green type of smoky smoke or whatever it is, and just kind of meld into it. And it's going to be something like that too here. So
Jay Hill asked, did they use real dinosaurs? Yes.
They actually captured some of the ones out in Wyoming that got loose from one of the actual InGen facilities. So yes.
Is it the one that you built in Jurassic World?
Absolutely.
Or is it Jurassic Evolution?
Evolution.
Are you still playing too, or did you move on from that?
Trails Cold Steel.
Oh, yeah, that fucks shit up.
There's a big update for it, though, that came out this week, I think, or last week. So
what'd they do with it?
Added some more shit. I don't fucking know. I'm busy.
One thing I want to mention, I know Anthouse just said something. Hopefully y'all saw the video for Unreal Engine 5. Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yep.
That was pretty dope. I did watch that. I love the fact that it's going to be super accessible for a lot of, like, developers, both AAA and indie alike. The tool set in there seems very accessible, very intuitive. Some of the tech demos that they showed in that video was incredible. Like they looked really, really good. We know that Coalition is using it for whatever they're working on next. We also know that Crystal Dynamics announced the next iteration of Tomb Raider will use Unreal Engine 5. So we're starting to see a lot of these developers, both big and small, are transitioning over to Unreal Engine 5. And obviously, we talked about a week or so ago, CD Projekt Red is moving the Witcher saga over to Unreal Engine 5.
That tells you something if developers are jumping over.
Dude, with how easy it is to use Unreal 5. I mean, when you have these, like we talked about, with like Mass Effect, and you have EA and CD Projekt Red abandoning their in-house engines to use Unreal 5. Instead of using their in-house engine, they're licensing Unreal 5 instead to make their game. That speaks volumes about how fucking intuitive and how easy it is to use and how it's going to allow them to create incredible experiences. That's fucking sweet, dude.
And maybe even a fraction of the time with less people if need be.
Yeah, I mean, we had Jay McKenzie on, a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, so ago, and he talked about he's hyped for this shit, man. He's hyped for Unreal 5, so it's going to be really exciting to see. And again, you take that tech demo that they were showing in there and you think about something like Tomb Raider or whatever Coalition, or even a Gears game or anything like that, or a Witcher game with those types of visuals and that type of performance. Woo!
That's right. Get ready.
That sounds pretty fucking hot, dude.
Don't forget, everybody out there, hit exclamation mark.
Exclamation point, enter. Get in there for that giveaway, and we'll announce the winner in about 20 minutes.
That giveaway. Hi, Boots. I see you out there. Hi.
I see Boots out there. Yeah, we got the usual suspects are here tonight. We appreciate that support, you guys and gals. We really, really do. It means a lot to have y'all here. And we always want to give back. So whenever you're here, we'll try to do giveaways. We actually did one earlier tonight. Again, shout out to Cherry Squishy in the Discord. She got that dub, and we will definitely touch base with her. There you go, Boots. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. So I like to see. All right, Tom, we're moving on to our next topic. Let's talk about, we haven't talked about it in a while, but the Bel Air Season 1 has come to a close.
The finale hath dropped.
And let's talk about it, man. What did you? I mean, we've enjoyed this show throughout the season. We've had some concerns about what direction it could go, which it never did, thankfully. Not yet, anyways. We don't know what's happened to Jeffrey.
Do we even know if season 2's been announced?
That I can't say.
Okay.
Whether it's not. But I want to get your initial thoughts now that the season is wrapped up. I mean, obviously, again, the reason we were so into the show is because we're all big fans of the original Fresh Prince back in the day, and for them to take this and modernize it, would they be able to capture the same essence of the show but still modernize it? I want to get your thoughts on everything right now, Tom.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the show for the most part. I feel like it was one of those things that was this close, another you, but this close to being something that was just globally praised. Like, had they had dialed down on some of the silly entanglements and some of the CW drama and some of the direction of the characters, or some of the the way they went with some of the story, and some of the just either forgetting some storylines or just the convolution of current ones, it was kind of a mess at times when it came to some of that. And it's really a bummer because, as somebody, we get it. It's based off a sitcom, so you can only do so much, right? And honestly, I felt like the cast was probably one of the best parts about it. Even with the some of the goofiness they had to work with and the drama and stuff like that, the cast was really one of the best parts about it.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed basically every member that was part of this. And again, I feel like I wanted this to be it really started out strong. I wanted this to be super awesome, super great, and I think it was really treading that water. It was definitely trying to get there. But at the end of the day, I just don't know that maybe it's not possible. I mean, maybe they could have just cut out some of that drama and kept it more serious. I think if they'd have gone that route and made it more of an actual drama with good, listen, we get drama's part of it, right?
Sure.
But that, I talk about that CW drama like that, and I get that the kids are in high school and stuff like that, but some of that wishy-washy back and forth, and just it's so campy, it's so unnecessary. It creates dumb plot holes. There was a point where one of the characters, Lisa, was overreacting about something with Will, and it's just I don't want that shit. I don't want that.
You're trying too hard with the
that
drama.
over emotional bullshit. It just did it because it doesn't make sense to the situation.
Yeah,
because that's not always how. People might react like that, but in a show like this, you're trying to kind of zero in on something that kind of takes you out of that. So, again, I'm definitely glad I watched it. If they put out a season 2, I will watch it as well too. I hope maybe they'll kind of look at some of those things and kind of adjust. But at the end of the day, I did enjoy this. I definitely want more, I think, because I feel like they set that up. There's definitely some things I want to get tied up, but I'm going to continue to say that some of my favorite characters, actually, Aunt Viv is probably one of my favorites still. I feel like it's odd because as her character started to find herself throughout the series, she became a character I didn't care about as much, and because I felt like she, instead of being this kind of guiding light for Will, which made her so compelling at the beginning, she just got too focused with other things. And I think that's kind of what happened with all the characters.
It's hard for them to focus on what's important and what's not. Some of the stuff is important, but they preach family, but then there's other instances where I think you're forgetting the point.
Right. Yeah. They're talking about the family, but they're all doing such separate things and going different directions. You can't keep saying it's all about the family, but you're over here when the rest of the family's over here. And that's kind of how I felt. And Uncle Phil, honestly, for not being Stephen Avery, I really liked.
He was really good.
He was really good. I could see him doing different types of media.
He wasn't Stephen Avery, but he had that presence. He had that presence.
There's something about him. So. But again, I digress. At the end of the day, I did enjoy it. It was really quite close to being something really, really awesome and amazing, but it just kind of fell short.
Yeah, it was like we mentioned, it's a valiant effort to modernize a series that is a classic for a lot of us. But yeah, like you mentioned, I think the show would have benefited more just focusing more on the more, I don't want to say grittier, but more just believable drama, compelling drama, as opposed to trying to maintain some of that feel good ending to certain storylines that the show was known for, and that was a different time, But the way that they presented this and the way that they kind of explored certain story threads early on, it kind of created this identity crisis where it was like, yeah, this is compelling, and then this is like, oh, this is really light-hearted, like compelling. It's not. It's just two different types of drama, and I feel like when you have that going, it can be a little conflicting and it can be a little jarring. You're just like, that's not like for example, like and it's not only that, but also just the fact of how they just completely lost audio.
Hello?
Can you guys hear us, or is that just Dungeons who's struggling? I want to double check really quick. Sorry,
Testing.
Dungeon says lost audio. Okay, good.
Okay,
all right,
okay.
all right, it's just Dungeons. Okay. Anyways, going back to that, the way that they kind of like forget certain story arcs too. Trey, his friend back in Philly, just kind of drops off the radar after they have like this falling out. They just kind of abandon that storyline. We look at like Hillary's storyline with the influencer house. I felt like that was just kind of like building up, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really all that compelling. I mean, you look at everything that Will and Carlton are going through, and Aunt Viv and Phil, what they're going through, that was compelling stuff. But the one glaring omission that I feel like this show really could have dove into more was Ashley's storyline.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's the youngest, but she's, discovering herself and trying to, figure out what her sexuality is, and she's exploring that side of things, and they do have a couple of great moments between her and Hillary. You're just like, oh, this could be really good. Like
right.
She's like, look, you can talk to me about anything, but then that story just kind of gets pushed aside, and you're just like, fuck, man, that's more.
Right.
That storyline with Ashley being as young as she is, dealing with that and trying to come to terms with it, would have been way more compelling than a lot of the other arcs.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a great point. I feel it's like they would get close to these really great conversations,
and then give way to some of the other ones.
Yeah, and then just to say, okay, let's go to the really super drama-y one. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we want.
Didn't care for that. So I mean, Hillary's like some of the storylines were really good, and overall, like I love the dynamic between Will and Carlton. I feel like that is the one thing they got from the original show.
That common thread was pretty great.
Was really, really good. So I really enjoyed that part of it. The ebb and flow of their relationship was very, very strong throughout. I loved Phil's and Viv's relationship and how their marriage had to kind of adjust to things, and that give and take relationship that comes with all marriages. I mean, you got to learn to appreciate and respect one another's ambitions and goals and try to encourage them, but also, respect that, they have their own desires too. So, I mean, they did a really good job with all that stuff. And like you mentioned, a lot of the performances across the board are really, really good. They're really good. I just feel like, and then you get to the final episode and, Will's father comes into play in an interesting casting choice, but I felt it was compelling. But the performance by the person they bring in is good. It's just the whole scene itself with him and Will is kind of weird. It starts off, Will's a little hesitant, abrasive, and then there's like this moment where it's like these guys have been friends for years and they're just laughing and yucking it up, and then before you know it gets very hostile, and you're like, whoa, this is moving quick.
Because they were building up to that moment the entire season almost, like at least since like the second or third, and like you finally get to that point, and it was, I don't know if rushed is the right word, but it was just so anticlimactic, and it was happening. So, and that's how I felt a lot of the character storyline towards the end. Like I mentioned with Aunt Viv, I would even say Uncle Phil's as well too. Like by the time you get to the end, things change, and like all the character storylines that they're building up early on, like all of a sudden just kind of fizzled out, and just like
I agree with that with the Uncle Phil thing.
Yeah, like all of that.
They just like cheap. This, I don't want to say cop out, but it was just like this weird way to get out of like the drama portion.
Yeah,
of it.
it's like, really weird. But again, it was another point where they were saying he was talking family all the time, and yet he was still doing one other thing. So he tried to make this choice different, but then for some reason it made his character also less compelling.
Yeah.
It's really perplexing, a lot of the things they did when it came to the.
But I mean, it does a lot of things right. Like, man, like the way that it conveys the struggles that Black people have to deal with in both politics and social settings like school and sexuality,
modern things.
Yeah, a lot of modern things, and the struggles and the bullshit they have to put up with. They do a great job of conveying that, and you're just like, fuck, man. So I mean, you get a lot of good perspective, a lot of good like compelling stuff, but. They need to like decide what they want this show to be. Do they want it to be a very powerful drama Or do they want it to be the lighthearted, like feel-good family show?
It was definitely there's some soul searching this show has to do. I think
it's got potential. Like I hope they announce a
Mm-hmm.
season 2, and I hope they jump back into it because we didn't get any closure on Ashley. We didn't get any closure on Jeffrey. They set up things for Will and his father. So I mean, there's a lot there that I want them to explore, but they really need to determine how they want to move the show forward and what type of show it's going to be. Understand, too, that perspective wasn't considered compelling TV back with the original. No, I agree with that 100%. But, I mean, considering the characters and the climate of where we are today, I feel like they could have really gone with compelling TV as opposed to, like, giving away to, like, trying to embrace what made the original
And that was,
so
I
good.
think, the whole point with this was to flesh out some characters and give them more than just, like, Will being the focus or whatever it might be. And the problem is that they started out strong and then it kind of just fizzled out towards the end. So, it's like I said, I think they've got some soul searching to do to figure out what they want, their show to kind of like just be generally. So,
y'all better watch this criticism. This show is for us. The Blackies tread carefully. I can't believe I just said that. Damn it. That's why I don't want to read Brian's comments. Shit.
Gotcha, motherfucker. Gotcha.
Brian, don't write stuff I'm going to read it, man. It's like putting a cue card up for Ron Burgundy. I'm just going to read whatever is put in front of me. God damn it, Brian.
Fucking got you, damn it.
All right, let's move on to the next topic before we get canceled.
Hey, everybody, look how red this guy is.
I
Look at the
know,
fucking tomato.
man. I'm so pissed at him right now.
Holy shit.
All right. No, he did not do the Carlton Josie.
I think that was a good choice not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think it would have fit. All right. Anyways, jumping into our next topic, let's talk about Winning Time Episode 5.
Oh, fucking Brian.
Oh, I hate Brian right now. All right, Tone.
Yes.
We've been really digging the show so far. We've really enjoyed this as they kind of this chronicle the Lakers' rise to Showtime. This week's episode focused more on Jack McKinney and implementing his offense and the team trying to adjust to it. But more importantly, this episode focused heavily on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Cat. And you really appreciated that, so I'm going to let you talk about that for just a moment. What about this episode was so good to you?
I'm just going to preface by saying once again that I keep saying is that, like, this is definitely probably one of the best TV shows I've seen this year so far, hands down. It's really got to do something to fuck up at the end for me not to like it, which is good because we know it's based off of actual facts. And I can't get enough of the show. It's literally, just like I'm going to say this every time if I have to. Anytime an HBO show comes out and they've got that intro, it's going to hook you right away. And this is literally one of them that does that to you. It just the coup that intro song just grabs you right away. And God damn it, I can't get enough of the acting. I can't get enough of the characters. And listen, a lot of these actors aren't huge named actors either. And even the side, like the lesser known people on the team, they all just do a great job. Like, listen, love Magic Johnson clearly. If I've said it before, I'm going to also say this again probably too. I grew up. My first taste of NBA basketball was watching Showtime Lakers in the 80s because of Magic Johnson coming from Lansing. That was my first taste. That hooked me instantly. It's still my favorite sport to this day. But being able to take a pause and knowing there's going to be a lot about Magic Johnson and giving an episode to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
is awesome. Is
fucking amazing. This is a character who one of my all-time favorite things, and if you know, you know, but, in a Bruce Lee film, kicks Bruce Lee and leaves a big footprint on him, right? Because he was a student of Bruce Lee under JKD, along with Danny Innocento at that time. Kareem was always kind of a standoff guy. And even now, in life now, he's still this amazing, like, wise guiding presence. Like, that's who he was, this team. But he was having a hard time finding himself or connecting or whatever it was. And you got a great background of that. And that's maybe something that not a lot of people really realize. And they fleshed out really well. And it made you, because most of the time you're seeing Dr. Bus, you're seeing Magic, and you're kind of getting the perspective of Kareem. Oh, he's kind of got a wall up or whatever. I didn't expect them to do a full pretty much episode of diving into him and doing this. Yeah. And I tell you what, like, I couldn't have been more pleased because of it, and because it gives you that opposite perspective. The storytelling in this show is this very weird fourth wall, light tongue-in-cheek, grainy old school look, and it is telling, like, again, I know it's based on a true story, real life, whatever, but man, they just do such a good job of keeping you completely gripped the entire time.
Yeah.
A 45, 50-minute episode feels like 10 minutes in a blink.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
A lot of this stuff that, again, like you said, it's all based on a true story, and a lot of this stuff is common knowledge, but there is a lot of stuff in here that, even though obviously there's stuff that's dramatized for Hollywood, for whatever, but there is some, like, stuff happening in the show that is true, that is based on real information of, like, stuff that happened that I didn't even know about. And I think that shit is super interesting. Like, there's so much stuff. And I really like the focus on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and, like, it focuses on his decision to convert back in the day and the struggles he had to deal with that, not only from, like, fans, but, like, everybody around him. I mean, there was a lot of folks that criticized him for his decision to do what he did.
Yeah.
And it really kind of explains why he's so stoic and why he's so apprehensive or abrasive towards everybody, why he's just kind of, like, shut off to everybody.
Yeah.
And I love how, Magic is constantly trying to get to him, trying to show, like, look, man, I'm here to make you better. I'm here to, like, give you the rock. And yeah, even his own family, exactly. Even his own family, his dad was pissed. He's like, you don't want my name, and you're just like, damn, man, that's fucking, that's some deep shit. And so, and then you get to the scene where, Magic's trying to connect to Kareem, but he can't do it off the court. They have this scuffle in the locker room. But once they get on the court, that's when they're able to earn one another's trust, kind of see eye to eye and see what each other's about. And Kareem kind of starts to understand that, look, what his purpose is really there. Like, he goes to a mosque and he talks to somebody there, and they kind of, like, give him some insight that helps him.
That was a great
That was
scene,
a
by the
really
way.
fucking awesome scene. And it opens them up to Magic more on the court, and that's where they start, they start to see, here's what we can do with this offense from this coach who's a no-name, basically. And they're starting to thrive off of it. But then the show ends, and the big part of what, a lot of people were concerned about when this happened is Jack McKinney has an accident on a bike, and he gets gravely injured. Like, it doesn't look like it, but, I mean, hitting your head on cement's going to fuck you up. And he has a bike accident, and that's where the episode ends. And as we know, going forward, that's the last time we see Jack McKinney as the coach for the Lakers. Obviously, he joins the Pacers a couple years later, but the way this show has played out so far, the fact that it is still very authentic in a lot of its, like, big parts that it presents, the big storylines, like, everything is, like, really, really close to being accurate. I appreciate that. And any parts where they dramatize it, it makes sense. It doesn't feel out of place. It's just really, really well done with good performances. And this episode was fucking great, man. This was a really good episode, and this is seriously one of the best shows on HBO Max right now. One of the best shows on TV right now.
Dude, like I said, I can't get enough of it. I'm excited to, because it's nostalgia for me too. It's making me think, like, as a kid, right?
Yep.
Like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old or whatever it was. It would have been probably 5, 6, 7. Back then, watching the Showtime Lakers, and just being a kid staring at a brown old piece of shit TV.
Yep.
Watching the Lakers go back and forth and against the Celtics, and just seeing it for that, just enjoying the sport, enjoying that, and watching, but not knowing behind the scenes that there's this intricate web of, like, people and stories and stuff like that. And listen, you're gonna get the best out of John C. Reilly no matter what it is, drama or jokes, but gosh, like, he is that levity, he is that tongue in cheek, and like you've said, we start to see those chinks in that armor with him.
Yeah, we get to see him, like, for the first couple episodes, he's kind of like this fun loving guy who's trying to make things better for this, but we're starting to see some of his flaws as well in this episode as well. So I feel like that's really good. It gives that more of a 3-dimensional character, doesn't just play him as a savior. So it's really, really good.
John C. Reilly's got. He's entertaining.
He's got great
that
range. He's got great range. So this has been a really, really good show. Really excited to wait for the next episode. We'll be watching that on Sunday and talking about it next week. You folks have 63 seconds to enter in for a chance to win a $20 digital code for the platform of your choice, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, eShop, or Steam. ! Enter. Get in there now. The winner will be announced in less than a minute. So get in there. While we're waiting for that, we'll kind of prime everybody for the next topic. Again, this will be spoiler-free. We will not talk about any major parts of this episode other than, what we thought of it, the way certain things were handled, but we will not get into any specifics.
Don't read Brian's comment. Don't read Brian's comment.
Yeah, I'm not Brian. No, damn it, Brian. See, now I can't trust Brian's. Brian is so knowledgeable, but no, I can't say that because he's trying to get me to say stuff. What a son of a bitch. That's why I love him, though. He's good people.
Appreciate you, Josie.
All right, 5 seconds. Exclamation point. Enter. Get in there for a chance to win, and the winner is
Prime Didag.
Oh.
It didn't win.
Oh my God! Is this another thing where that thing not going to pick a fucking winner? Did somebody win? Did it not?
Can't tell.
I don't know. Oh, it's Miss Rose.
All right.
There it is. Okay, it did show up.
Work. It didn't show up in the chat. All
It did show up in
right.
the chat. Congratulations, Miss Rose. There we go.
Rose. We'll follow up with you.
Congratulations. We will touch base with you after the show to figure out which platform you would like your code on.
Yes.
We will hook you up. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Rose. We appreciate you and we love you. And, yeah, you're amazing. You're much more amazing than Brian. Brian's just kind of a piece of shit. I didn't win. All right, Tone, you got to make that ass clap now. I can read that. I can read that comment.
It's amazing when ass is up there, you can read it. Go figure.
All right, Tone, let's talk about MoonKnight episode 2.
Let's do that.
Obviously, last week's show I thought it was really, really good. There were some faults with some of the action some issues with the action they had, but overall, I thought it was a really interesting story. It was mysterious. It showed a lot of the I love the way that it conveyed how somebody deals with sort of the identity disorders. But this episode was a little bit slower. Not as we had one big sequence, but a lot more character development, especially with not Oscar Isaac, the other one. Who's the other guy that plays in the Arnold? Arthur, yes. Who was that again?
With Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke, yes. We got a lot more with him, a lot more than we got the last episode. And we figure out what his role is and everything. And I think last week you mentioned you were concerned about whether he was just going to be kind of like this, this little entry to the bag. Like he was just kind of going to be there, like not going to be a big point. But we saw he's going to play a major part in the show.
Yeah, he, I think I remember I said last week that he took inspiration from like, serial killers or whatever it was, but he also said what would a character be like if somebody like Steve Jobs went evil? And you got to see him roll that out and flex that this episode.
Especially in that when he
was charismatic.
Yeah.
He reels people in.
Yeah.
He was caring of the people around him. Like he was like somebody said is like you could tell like this is somebody who almost kind of rolls with a cult and things like that. And you got some big reveals about his character, who he was originally, and different things. And, he was chewing up those scenes really well. And Ethan Hawke is not somebody that I would have ever felt like would be like this compelling, charismatic, creepy kind of guy. But
he's evolved. He's evolved a lot. He's done a
holy
great job.
shit!
I think it was ever since Training Day where I think that's where we started to see like what he's capable of as an actor.
Yeah. And it was it was definitely this Charmin night. That's funny. Definitely good to see him kind of spread out those chops as well too. Yeah, this episode was definitely, I don't want to say a filler. It was definitely slower. It was definitely build more. I think everybody, and I know if they're gonna do what the other ones do, they're building, right. We got to just be patient. There's gonna be, from what I understand, somebody somewhere said, I don't know if it was in Marvel proper or whatever, that by the end, like a 4th or 5th episode somewhere coming up, like there's an episode or at some point there's a foot put on a gas pedal and it just like completely like goes.
You gotta remember, this is a character, like, again, kind of like Eternals or Shang-Chi. Not a lot of people know about MoonKnight. Other than diehard fans of the comics, this is one of those characters where you have to take that time to really evolve it, explain things. Not just MoonKnight himself, not just, Steven's character, but like you said, Arthur's character. We gotta get that exposition, get an understanding of who they are. And if that means I gotta cut back on some of the action, I'm okay with that. But, my issue with the show up until this point has been the action sequences. And this one, here's my thing, dude. I've never liked this in shows or movies or anywhere. Whenever there is somebody fighting somebody who's invisible, and they decide not to show who they're fighting and just see a guy or a person running around fighting somebody invisible, I hate that.
Well, speaking of, so you don't like Hollow Man?
No, I don't like Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man's creepy as fuck, but again, Drebutter says, I just don't think the Moorhead and Benson did well in this, just my 2 cents.
That's fair.
That's
because
fair.
they're
That's
the ones
good.
that directed this episode.
Yep.
And so, I was talking about beforehand about how like we watched Synchronic and we were both kind of like, it's all right. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. And I know they got some other stuff out there that people say that they're indie stuff you should check out as well too. Yeah, I it was good for storytelling, but man, I don't know. I guess I really want to see more, and it's probably because I'm being impatient because I look at this and recognize like there was some great storytelling going on out there.
There are some really good scenes.
Yeah, and there's some really good scenes. And I know that Seven Dungeons Drastin mentioned about the Zoot suit. So that's technically Mr. Knight. So we gotta look at him as well too. That's a whole other thing that you'll keep learning about.
He says
though.
episode 4 is them again. He's like, just let Diab handle this.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Why not? Exactly. Yep. Yeah. They're coming back in as well too. So Muhammad did 4, and then these guys did 2, right? 6. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So. But yeah, I mean, again, we get some. I actually think that what was nice in this one is that we fleshed out the personalities more too.
Yes, yeah, we got more of Mark.
Yep, we got more of Mark, but we also got like a little bit more of Steve.
Yep,
as well too. So, overall, it was a great episode for some storytelling. Typically, I always say when you get to that 3rd episode, it's time to kind of crank it up a notch or so because this is the best way to do it. Like, come out swinging in the first one. Get that story taken care of in the second one, and let's see what we got coming up in the 3rd one. So I anticipate next week's probably going to be pretty crazy, a good mix of everything else. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is still a good episode. And I want more of him in the suit. I think that's my problem.
Yeah,
I just want to see him more
I think it's
suit.
a good episode for exposition and story.
Right, yeah, Mando's episode 5. It'll be a Mando episode.
But as far as like in terms of in placing it in all the other MCU shows, I don't think this show has quite hit the levels of the other ones quite yet. But again, they need to spend that time. It is absolutely necessary to build up these characters because again, outside of like the diehard fans who understand who MoonKnight is, there's a lot of people who are like, who the fuck is MoonKnight?
Or who's Mr. Knight?
You don't bring in Oscar Isaac to just rush through action. You got to have somebody who can really convey the character, their internal struggles, and everything they're doing, and you got to have somebody that can match him on the other side as a villain, and so far, Ethan Hawke has done a really, really good job with it.
And this is a complex story to tell because you're dealing with a character that has, at least in the comics, probably more like 4, maybe even 5 personalities. So some people still theorize that we may see more in this. We don't know. Some people also think it's just going to be the 2 right now or whatever. But
maybe simplify things a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. But the stuff with Khonshu is pretty dope. I just you want that. So yeah, you want that back. Yeah, because. Yeah, he's not going to he's going to be more of like that more mystifying kind of Marvel hero instead of like some of the OG comic stuff where he was more like gadgety Batman kind of Moon Knight. So he's kind of moved to the other way, I think, as well, too. But what's interesting to know about Oscar Isaac, and I know Crash was talking about this today, but this came out a few weeks ago prior to the show start, but Oscar Isaac, contractually right now, is not obligated to be anything else MCU. He just signed up for 6 episodes of this, and that was it for right now.
Really?
Which is interesting. But it also kind of left some gray areas staying in there because he may have done that because the fact of he's still a rising star that people want on their projects, so people want Oscar Isaac attached to their movies, so he's always got projects or things going on. Plus, you got Dune's another Dune. Well, he didn't. Never mind. He's not.
He won't be in that one.
Never mind about
Unless
that.
Unless he's a Force ghost.
Yeah, right. But that doesn't mean that we won't see him. We just don't know like how this is going to thread or where he's going to be at later down the road. So, it's probably smart on his bet just from a money standpoint. So some people are freaked out like, is this all we're going to get of Moon Knight? I wouldn't say so because Disney's got a lot of zeros they can put on the end of checks. So.
I mean,
he's
passed, but I don't think he's hit that AAA list yet.
Right.
I mean, he's still moving up. But I mean, he's moving up quickly.
Right,
I think he's moving up quickly, but I don't think he's like a AAA lister leading the show. I mean, he was really good in a terrible year or whatever it was, most memorable or something year. But he was really good in that, and but I feel like he's still ascending to the top to that A list. So I mean, I get he was an ex-fucking I get that. I get
Amazing
that. But,
flick.
you know,
Jesus.
he's still, as far as, like, being a household name, he's not quite
Brad
there.
Pitt.
Yeah, he's still at Jim Caviezel level. Come on, Josie. He's better than Jim Caviezel. Jeez.
That's funny.
All right, folks. It's time for the main event.
Showing how he's only signed out of this. I wonder if Marvel signed on one of kind. Well, but again, compared to a lot of other stars, people are trying to attach.
What do you say?
So he says it's interesting how he only signed onto this. I wonder if Marvel will sign one-off contracts with other stars to make smaller projects. I think a lot of the people that they brought in the MCU were either past their kind of more big prime or just aren't making those kind of things anymore, where that's my point about being a rising stars. Oscar's still producing potentially multiple movies a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so some of those folks will sign up for them because they're like, well, I don't know what the future's going to hold. Oscar's looking at like, well, I've got some things maybe coming out down the pipeline. So,
didn't Feige say they were done with big multi-film contracts?
You know, he may have said that as well too. If I think I remember that as well too. I don't.
Josie says he was Apocalypse. Yeah, we're all trying to forget that. We're all trying to forget that he was Apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Who, ironically enough, was the first mutant and also has Egyptian ties originally too. So
be
interesting full circle, right?
There you go.
Fat Thor, yeah.
All right, Tone. Time to move on to the final, most important topic of the evening.
I would say that's far from the most important topic of the evening.
Let's talk about Halo the series, episode 2. And no, the color on your screen is not off. That is Master Chief not wearing his suit now.
Yeah.
First dude, he took off his helmet and you were mad. You were big mad.
Now he's wearing his pajamas.
Now we get to episode 2, and he literally is carrying his helmet around everywhere and then takes off the armor. Dude, I swear they're making this show just to trigger you. They're edgelording right now.
After what I read from 343 this week,
geez,
and they're pandering to casual fans, I get it now. It just doesn't mean that I give a shit. I just don't. I didn't even finish this episode.
What?
You didn't finish the other thing.
Oh, shut up. You finished. I already know you did. You talked about it.
Yeah.
But this episode was interesting because, like, I don't know any of the characters from the books or anything like that, but I do understand that Soren is a character from the books.
Based off the books, they changed a few things in there as well, too, as far as their two relationships, but yes.
But they were in the academy together.
Pretty cool to have them, yep.
And he decided, he's like, look, I'm not having them plug me up with shit and attach chips to my back. He's like,
they're
I'm out of here.
brainwashing us, yeah.
Yeah, he saw the light. He knew what was going on. He could see past all the bureaucratic bullshit.
And he's played by who?
Bokeem Woodbine.
I fucking love him.
He's been
he's been a big fan.
He's been a big fan. He's been a big guy in Hollywood for a long time. He's always been, I wouldn't say he's a leading man, but he's been, you know him when you see him.
Yeah, I get excited when I see him because I'm like, oh, he's going to act the shit out of this role.
Yeah, he'll chew up his scenes he's in, and then we're good.
Yeah.
But, you know, him and Soren have a past. They have a relationship. They were in the academy together, and then Soren was like, dude, I'm fucking out of here. And him and John kind of square off for a moment. And he gives Soren like 5 minutes to leave. And Soren's like, man, fuck you. I thought we were cool. So, obviously, last week, John came in touch with that Covenant artifact that allows him to kind of like see his past. And he escapes the UNSC who's trying to bring him in. And he jettisons across the galaxy to wherever the fuck he was at and meets up with Soren. And him and Soren hit it off. And Soren's trying to figure out Pride him. What are you doing here? And they talk about the artifact. This was a very filler episode. Not a whole lot of action. I don't think there was any action.
Fucking no.
I don't think there was any action. But we just got a lot of like storytelling, and it was just Soren is the most understanding dude ever. He sure is. It was just man. It was kind of an uneventful episode. Soren has somebody who is familiar with the artifact or stuff like it, who might have seen something like that. They go and visit that person. Some shit goes down.
They change that person's entire it was supposed to be a jackal from the Covenant.
Right.
Like they just completely flipped this character for no reason, which would have been a cool link to kind of compel people to be like, oh, this is nuts. We get to, there's a Covenant that's here or whatever in prison and whatever. And no, they didn't do that with that. And they just, listen, at this point, if you're enjoying it, awesome. Good for you. Good for you.
Now, as somebody who is not a diehard Halo guy in terms of the games and doesn't know shit about the books, this was a slower episode, but I felt there was enough there. I was like, okay, I'm curious to see. I'm still curious to see where it lands, where it goes. But as somebody,
probably on a Halo ring.
Didn't.
Yeah. Right.
But again, leading over to Tone, and he is a resident Halo guy who's a fan of everything on the games and whatnot. And just right now, man, they're not reaching you, huh?
Absolutely not. Like, this is trash. I don't give a fuck about it. He's in his fucking PJs. Get out of here with that shit. If you're okay with that,
I feel like that is like a really deliberate choice to try to trigger fans. Like, I mean, I don't or try to just force
Showrunner
it.
said they didn't talk about the games.
That's a valid point. Yeah, dude, this episode, again, it was filler, and I'm still optimistic about it. I'm still going to keep watching it, but I can understand now the level of concern and the level of vitriol that this show is getting from fans of the games. It's justifiable, and I understand it. It's just, man, this is completely different from the Chief that I know from the limited experiences I've had with those games.
What's the next episode? He's going to be planting flowers on the fucking asteroid?
I mean, he left. He ain't going to be there. He left.
He'll go back. He's like, oh, I forgot to plant flowers on the asteroid. Better go back. He's running around in his PJs. He's not probably going to put the helmet on anymore. Maybe he's just going to put on like a cowboy, like one of the bandit masks from the Old West.
Oh, geez.
Good enough. We can see his eyes. It's a fucking joke at this point. Like, clearly, like anybody that said, they took down some of the lore, really, because his armor's off this episode. Did they take down the lore? Like, again, if you're enjoying it, that's awesome. They made this for casual fans. You're probably a casual fan, and that's perfectly fine. We don't see eye to eye at this point, anyways, and I know that. And I have to keep watching it apparently because I'm told I got to keep watching it, even though somebody didn't finish the bubble.
Dude, it sucks.
This show sucks.
I don't think it sucks.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it could suck real fast.
Fucking casual.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean the episode, like as soon as I saw Soren, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some story. Like I was still like, okay, let's get into some story now. Let's see what we're gonna do with this. I mean, we've already took the helmet off. We're already not friends with the UNSC. Halsey's telling Spartans to back him up against it's a whole fucking mess already. What worse can we do? Let's slow it back down. Tell some story. It's the second episode, right? It's a good time to tell some story.
You gotta build it up.
First of all, can we? I got to talk about the cable car at least.
What's wrong with the cable car?
It fucking detaches and floats right onto a fucking cable out of nowhere. Like that was listen. I know it's sci-fi and you got to suspend your disbeliefs in some of the fantasy.
How often does he drive home from work? That's what I wonder.
I did No, I want to know the first thing I thought of was like, I want to know the fatalities and the casualties of this situation because there is no way this has been approved by anybody that says this is safe to drive in. Like, what the fuck was that? What a weird thing to do. Like, why would you why would the cable why wouldn't it be connected the entire time? Like,
it's gotta be exciting, man.
That's such a weird detail that I picked up on. I'm like, that just completely took me out of it. But I digress. Like, no, literally, when he got home and he's like, you take your arm off. Well, I was like, there's no fucking way he just said that. I just tiled the floor or whatever. Like, he's not taking the Spartan armor off. And sure as shit,
he's walking around in a Snuggie.
He's walking around in his fucking PJs. Like, okay, we're doing that now. So as soon as that happened, I can honestly tell everybody I didn't know he left the asteroid because I probably grabbed my phone and go. I don't remember after him. Like, I remember at one point them sitting there and him introducing the wife and him sitting at the seat and he goes, huh? Like he's trying to be robotic.
He left Quan back, man. He left Quan back on the asteroid and he's going out. He turned himself in.
Yeah.
He turned himself in.
He's
back with the UNSC and Halsey's now going to implement her Cortana program into him. So that's what she's doing.
Cool.
Come on, man.
It'll balance him out. Yeah, because that's what the AI was created for, I guess. I listen, again, like, if you're enjoying it, sweet, dude. Enjoy it.
Okay, a couple things in the chat. Brian says, this has me worried for the Horizon Zero Dawn show. This has me worried for a lot of the shows that are being made now based on these shows. Like The Last of Us. Like, look, The Last of Us is kind of in the same scenario. Because with Halo,
I think you're gonna be disappointed.
Halo is like this. Has this huge universe, so a big playground to create stories. And The Last of Us has a big playground to create stories.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got Pedro Pascal as Joel, and we have old girl from Game of Thrones playing Ellie. I mean, do you look at this as a showrunner for one of these shows, looking at the feedback and everyone here? It's like, man, this is bullshit, man. This is not what we want from Halo. Do you think they're looking at this going, hey, man, let's not deviate too much?
The only hope we have with Last of Us is the fact that it's HBO.
Right.
That's
different.
That's the only thing. And we're already going to know at this point, I can tell you, there's going to be things and it's going to change. It's going to be changed, and we're probably going to be like, really, we went with that decision? I guarantee it. I know it. And because of how volatile the second one was for people and how if they intertwine any of that, if it gets that far, I can already tell you it's going to be probably a mess. And we might be sitting here next year when this comes out and being going, yeah, this definitely isn't good as the games. I don't know where the disconnect is when it comes to making this stuff. And again, when you adapt media from other media, we all have to realize the one fact is that some things are going to have to change.
Right.
But, caveat, when you change it so much that it isn't the same product that originally was based off of, because that got popular enough to make it this, and it's not the same thing anymore, I don't find that okay. I just do not. I don't find that okay. You don't alienate the people who brought it to a point of success that platforms it somewhere else. You don't alienate those people. You can't do that.
Right.
And that's what they want to do. This is a prime example of that. No pun intended. This is an example of that to the nth degree, what they're doing with this. And again, if you're enjoying that, that's on you, I guess. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, this episode, just when he got in this pajama suit, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. I'm sorry. Like, you can't continue to make things like this from video game form. And let's talk video games specifically. And want to make another buck off of them and make it for casual people like this and just general audiences. You can do that. It's a slippery slope. I understand that. You have to be able to preserve core fans and certain elements that are going to bring in everybody else. But 343 clearly alone as a gaming publisher right now or developer can't do that either.
I like Tricky's question. Would you like it better if it wasn't Chief? Like, what if it was Locke?
So we actually kind of talked about that about the game, and I think well, listen, the series that came out before Halo 5 with Locke before he was an actual Spartan was pretty cool. I've said Forward on to Dawn before Halo 4 came out was pretty cool. Chief makes a cameo in it. It's a badass cameo, and it's kind of that same perspective we get on that planet where they're like, oh, big Spartans are scary or whatever that. It's kind of like that, when the kids at the UNSC see them, the Marines see them, they're like, oh, that's the Master Chief, and it's pretty awe-inspiring. But it was really badass. That might help, and I think that's part of the problem here is that when you're giving these main characters over, you've played these stories before, you have an expectation of where those stories are going to go because they've been told, and it's fine to kind of adapt them, but again, like, when you're deviating so far from it, don't call it Halo then. Just call this something else. Call this pajama space guy. Like, I don't know, like,
there's some interesting stuff going on with the conversation. I like what Pikachu is saying and Brian is saying about The Last of Us specifically.
Yeah.
Pika's like, look, I've already played these games. I was hoping for another story in the same setting. Now, you look at The Last of Us, and yeah, there is a lot of room there. It could be like a Walking Dead type of world where you could explore that storyline from
look
different
what the second one did
perspectives.
from perspectives.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, here's my thing, though. I think it comes down to the quality of the story. Now, I have not played Halo from start to finish, so I don't know the quality of the story across all Halos. All I do know is I have played The Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2, and that is some of the most compelling, heart-wrenching storytelling I've ever played in a video game. And if you want to sit there and spend the first season retelling that story with certain elements might probably change, like you said, there's going to be some updates and some things altered a little bit.
That need to be adapted for TV or
film. But if you want to
film.
follow that story of Ellie and Joel and what happens at the end of the first game, that's compelling shit. I want to see that unfold, especially with the people involved.
Because there are gamers who haven't played that.
Right. Exactly. And because it is such a high-quality story. Now, after the first season, if they want to deviate from and not follow the path of The Last of Us 2, Part 2, I'm cool with that because you've established that world. You've brought in the fans. They're following the story of the first game. And then after that, if they're like, no, we're not going to follow the fucking story of Joel and Ellie after this. We're going to go somewhere else. I'm cool with that because you've paid homage to the fans. You've given them what they want, but now you're going to explore. I feel like had they done something like that with Halo, buy into it, give the fans what they want, and then in the second, third season, then kind of branch off, follow the books, then do your own thing, and then create your own narrative in that universe. I think I'm cool with that.
They really could have told parts of those stories that we've already played through that people haven't, that could be enjoyable outside of like Combat Evolved, hallway simulator. There's times in there where you can do different things with Chief to keep Chief in it, to do other things that aren't necessarily always just focused on the Covenant and the Halo. They could have done that here. It would have drawn in the original fans potentially. They could have kept the fucking helmet on more. They could have kept the suit on more, and it probably would have drawn us in as well too. But they're not doing any of that. They're literally not. They don't. And in 343 again, and we're going to talk about this in a minute because I think it's relevant to this. This week basically said out loud, we don't care about the core fans.
Yeah, that wasn't a good.
That wasn't a good image for him, and it's to the point where I'm like, should I even really put time into that if the second season comes out? Because like at some point, I don't care. Maybe you don't agree with this, and that's fine. I believe in the word integrity. I believe in standard. There's at some point you have to draw a fucking line and say. You have to look at yourself and objectively say, is this right? Is this the right thing for this, for me, for my enjoyment, or am I just like opening my mouth and intaking it with my eyes closed, just because it's called Halo, right? Or just because it's called Star Wars or whatever it is. I do believe that you have to step back at sometimes and think about that and look in the mirror and say, am I putting my time, money, effort, or whatever it is into this? Is that right? Because they don't give a shit about me, clearly, and I've been with them for 20 fucking years. I don't think that's fair. My time is my most precious fucking currency.
Right.
And they want me to share that? They want to take that from me? I don't think so. And listen, like Last of Us, I think is a great point, and I'll kind of dial back, and I do want to talk about what 343 said out loud a little bit. That's actually a fair point, Pikachu. I think that we'll see how the series goes, right? Clearly they're going to tell somewhat of that first story. You could have that world with other characters and build that because that world is really awesome and compelling. Yes, Tricky, they could have done that with this show. It didn't have to be Locke. It could have even been Buck. You could have brought Nathan Fillion in as Buck and done him as a Spartan through Halo 5. I'd have been fine with that too. Or from ODST to that. They could have done anything, but because Master Chief is Master Chief, they want him involved, and that's fine. But they could have done any of that, and I think it would have been more enjoyable, to some degree. So because they're not doing anything for the core fans or for what made Master Chief at all, and I think that is a problem. And to circle back to 343, they managed to at least this week, I think, put out a cookbook. That was more important than fixing their stupid fucking game that's broken. And what's the main guy?
Joseph Staten.
Staten said in an interview that they more or less in so many words said that it's the core fans like
that are getting in the way,
that are getting in the way and that are holding Halo and everything back. Well, maybe it's your fucking writers or the showrunners that don't want to talk to 343 about the game or anything like that that's doing it as well too, because they were more concerned at talking about somebody about making up some stupid fucking recipe in a cookbook, a Halo cookbook, instead of fixing the syncing in their fucking game. Like, we can talk about the dumb store, we can talk about the stupid fucking shitty open world and the story that it is, but the bread and butter of the multiplayer that they want to make sure that all casual gamers can play, which for all intents and purposes, gameplay of Halo 5 is pretty fun. Halo Infinite's been pretty fun. We've enjoyed it, but the game's inherently broken.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's really light on content.
Yeah. It needs to be fixed. You need to be focusing on that, and they're blaming. I find it ironic when these people blame everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the fucking core fans, or it's this. How about you just fess up to the fact that it's probably Microsoft pushing you to get it out, and maybe you're just not a good fucking developer. Because guess what? You've split the entire fan base since Halo 4 and then into Halo 5, and the only thing you put out that was any good was, weird, Master Chief Collection, which you didn't make, Bungie did.
And see, I think it's interesting, you mentioned how they say, like, one of the other comments in that interview is that what they were trying to do with Halo Infinite is to broaden their horizons to reach a bigger audience. And I think part of that is when you say that to reach a bigger audience, you're trying to get the game in front of more people. You're trying to get more people to play. You're trying to get more people into the store.
And that makes sense.
To make purchases. And I can tell you right now, the only people that are worried about that is not 343 Industries. It's Microsoft. They want that game to be accessible to everybody. It's on Game Pass. Game Pass is in front of more people than an Xbox system. and they want these games to be accessible and easy to get into. I'm not saying easy to play, but they have to like broaden it up. And when you do broad things, you're generalizing stuff and you're making it easier for more people to get into. And when you do that, you're kind of abandoning the hardcore fans that have been a fan of your product for a long time.
I think, to be fair, again, Halo Infinite is a good mix of what people enjoyed about Halo. Like, I liked some of the modernization they did. I didn't like 5, and we've talked about that numerous times, but you know, they've dialed it back, and I think it feels like old school Halo. So that for me as a core fan, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having a good time playing this. But it was also, you know, still Halo, felt like Halo, different enough, modernized in some ways with the controls and people can choose from, that it can draw in casual audiences. But you can't sit there and say it's everybody else's fault for moving the series forward and blaming core fans for Infinite when you can't fix your fucking game and the syncing. It's crossplay. You've got fucking FTL and all this shit.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what you should be focusing on, or maybe not trying to, like, you know, pillage our fucking wallets with your stupid store pricings for cosmetics. I don't mean shit.
Yeah.
So I found it really ironic that this show's out and it's you know, got people all over, you know, it's Halo fans or casual whatever who was enjoying it, who's not enjoying it, and then they make that comment about the fucking game. That's talk about fucking irony. So that's Halo for you, I guess, at this point.
That is Halo for you at this point. So I'll be curious to see where the show goes. Tone, if it makes you happier, I'll watch the rest of the bubble tomorrow, and then we can continue our Halo discussion next week because episode 3 drops tomorrow. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I certainly can. I'll probably watch it like Sunday or Tuesday night before I have to come over here.
Oh, well, hey, at least you'll watch it. I appreciate you.
Probably not.
That's going to do it for tonight's show. Congratulations to Miss Rose. We will reach out to you in the Discord to figure out which platform you would like your code for. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. I'm telling you right now, y'all, Brian excluded, everybody in the chat makes this conversation interesting. Brian just likes to set me up to have me blurt things out to make me look like a fucking total scumbag. And he's good at it, but I love him anyways. But no, seriously, thank you so much to everybody that tuned in tonight. Your thoughts, your comments, everything. If I noticed me. Oh, my goodness. But no, seriously, everyone that tunes in, whenever you chime in on these conversations and we get your perspective on things and we get your opinion on things, that's what makes this so much fucking fun. Seriously, it makes it a blast. So we appreciate you being here every Wednesday night. It's always exciting. It's always fun. We always have a lot of good stuff to talk about, and there's always good conversation, and it's all because of y'all.
Yes.
Everybody that tunes in. Venomous, you're late, but we still love you. We appreciate you stopping by. Tone.
Yes.
What do we got, dude?
Well, I just want to once again, announce the fact that we are going to be streaming live May 4th. May the 4th be with you at Koi's Comics here in Saginaw. Really excited to team up with them, as we've said. Really excited to be involved, be there to talk about, of course, none other than Free Comic Book Day coming out on May 7th. All-day big event here in town with Koi's Comics. You know, there's going to be food trucks, there'll be bands, artists, all kinds of fun stuff. So come out to Koi's Comics. Make sure you're supporting your local comic book store. We love the MCU. We love all kinds of different movies, not Morbius, and all kinds of good fun stuff that continue to come out. And in some way, believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that we watch and intake and talk about around here start somewhere, and usually that's a comic book these days. So you get out there, support your local comic book shop. There's tons of stuff that you can check out that you might like if you're into pop figures. Gosh,
they have a ton of shit at Koi.
They've got a ton of they're buying a lot of retro, like action figures, or if you're a collector, tons of stuff there for you. Well, back stock of comics, so if you need to get a couple issues you're missing as well too. But that's the point. At the end of the day, May 7th, get out there, hang out with Koi's Comics. Come see us on May 4th. No, you won't be able to because we'll be closed, but we might be around hanging out on May 7th as well too. So really excited. We thank them for that as well too. Very, 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 as you can tell, I'm very excited about
Cuddles, that stream will be May 4th. So typical Wednesday show, but we'll be going live from Koi's Comics.
Yep.
So usual, same bad time. Oh, 8 o'clock.
Might be 8 o'clock that night. We'll keep you all know in the weeks as we get closer to that. We're going to be talking about this going forward pretty consistently. But yes,
it'll be a pretty dope show, man, because we'll be previewing Doctor Strange. We'll have MoonKnight finale. We're gonna have a lot of.
There's gonna be a lot of fun stuff to talk about that night as well too. So yeah, and then the night after, of course, we got Doctor Strange. So
yeah, it's gonna be a real fun show. So that'll be a lot of fun. As always, If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button before you leave. Hit it. If you want to comment on things, please comment. Let us know your thoughts on any of the topics. If there's some good stuff in the comments, we'll share it on the following week's show. So make sure you hit that. If you're listening on iTunes or if you're listening on Spotify, open up that menu and scroll on down and give us that 5-star review if you feel we deserve it. If you don't feel we deserve it, that's fine. No fake 5 stars. But let us know what we can do to earn that 5-star vote. That'd be really, really nice. So if you're on iTunes, Spotify, 5-star ratings, comment or leave a written review, that's fucking sweet. You're going to read the comments on the show? Give me a sec. No, Brian, I will preview them and go over them before I blurt them out because I know you're out there. And, I don't want to be that guy again anymore. Dude needs to buy me a drink. You know what? I do need to buy a drink. I need to give you your shirt. She has a B&B shirt that I have here, and I have to give that to Pikachu at some point. But yeah, seriously, if you share the videos, if you like the videos, if you comment, it really allows us to reach out to a wider audience. It helps people discover us, so we really appreciate your support in that regard. But that's going to do it for tonight's show. I'll be live Friday night right here on Banter and Babble, continuing our playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West, drinking, and all sorts of shenanigans. So, it's going to be a good time on Friday night. For Fanboytone, I'm TheDude79. Hope everyone has a great week, a safe weekend, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Banter and Babble. Have a good night, everybody.